Welcome back, future business owners. Today I am going to give you 7 key financial terms to manage your business. If this is the first time you're tuning into my channel, my name is Chawanne Burns, and the whole purpose of this channel is to help you get started off on the right foot in owning your business. If it's the first time you're tuning in, click that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification bell. And also, if this is the second time you're tuning into my channel, shame on you. You should have subscribed the first time. So our first term is COGS, which is an acronym for cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold. This is the cost that is associated with making your product or what suppliers charge to you. Okay, so if Sally bought the product from you for $100 and your supplier charged you $40, your cost of goods sold is $40. Now, if you're in the business of making products, so a simple way to calculate your cost of goods sold, hopefully if you're already making products, you kind of already know the basis of this. But if you don't, I'm about to teach you. Your cost of goods sold is if you make 100 items and it takes you 2 people over a span of 2 days to make 100 items. Your cost of goods sold is your supplies plus the manpower to make the product. Our next definition is fixed expenses. It is the sum of all expenses that does not change over month-to-month basis. Example, owner salary. Hey, if you're a business owner, pay me first, okay? You always pay yourself first. And that should be a fixed dollar amount because you don't want to get sour of managing a business and you haven't got paid yet, okay? So even in bad times, you still pay yourself, okay? Before you pay anybody else, pay yourself. So owner salary, rent, loans, insurance, car note, legal fees, advertising, and miscellaneous expenses. So all those items, example, it could be more or less, all those items, they do not change on a month-to-month basis, so we call those fixed expenses. The next key term is variable expenses. This expenses does change over time and it's solely dependent on how much you sold on a product. So if you sold 10 grand in 1 month, your cost of goods sold will be different for the next month. It changes month to month. So example, cost of goods sold, installation, your sales commission, commission to your employees, shipping, mistakes, and other overhead expenses associated with your sales. So these are dependent on your sales. So that's why we call these variable expenses. They change month to month, okay? And you got to forgive me because this is, we'll put that right here. Our next key definition is P&L. This is a profit and loss. Before we get into that, please click on that subscribe button and that notification bell. If you made it this far, that means you're interested, okay? So subscribe, comment, like. Please let me know if you want to hear on some other topic. Put that in the comment section. And also, let me know, are you tracking your month-to-month expenses? So your profit and loss. This is the sum of the revenue minus the costs and minus the expenses for the quarter or the year. You can do this on a monthly basis because it will really help you make key financial decisions and put a light bulb in your head like, dang, I didn't know I was spending that much on this amount. I think we could get this cost lowered. So once you start thinking in that terms, you could really increase your profit margins, okay? So let's go through this exercise. Why is it important for us to learn our finances, our business finances? Please close your eyes and imagine you're driving down a road. You're driving and you take your eyes off the road. We are going into a ditch. That is the same thing with not knowing your finances if you're not looking at it on a day-to-day basis. Okay, if you didn't watch my last video, this is part 2. If you didn't watch my last video, at the end of this video I'm going to put a link to that, because we went over some of the basics of what you need to do to get up to this point. Okay, I love this. Gross profit. Gross profit, this is not my favorite term. This is not my favorite term. The next term is my favorite term, or I love calculating. Gross profit is the total revenue. Total revenue, how much did we earn, minus the cost of goods sold divided by the revenue. Example, what is actually charged to the customer minus the taxes is your total revenue. Okay? What is actually charged? How much do you collect from Sally? I use Sally because Sally is an easy name to remember. I don't know if you have a customer named Sally. If you do, great. So this resonates with you. But what are you actually collecting from the customer? Okay? Minus what is charged from the manufacturer divided by the revenue. This is a percentage. You should get a decimal point, but then times it by 100%. That calculation is at the bottom. Net profit. Now, this is my favorite term. They said if you're really profitable, your net profit should be 15 to 20%. Okay? So let me know in the comment section, are you reaching that 15 to 20% after you do this calculation? Revenue minus variable expenses minus fixed expenses and other expenses, okay? Divided by your revenue again, okay? So it's basically this, but divided by the revenue. So revenue minus variable expenses minus fixed expenses minus the other expenses. So basically the total of your profit and loss statement divided by the revenue. This should give you your net profit margin. Look on the bottom. I gave you an example of that calculation. Our next video is part 3 of our finances. We will build our own profit and loss statement. This is going to be some good stuff. I want you to tune in next week, profit and loss, because we are going to help you start on the right foot and owning your business. I'm sending all my good to you. I'll talk to you soon.